Harden one-on-one here. Yeah, James doubling up the Clippers. Clean up on aisle three. Clean up on aisle three.
The goal of basketball is to put the ball in the basket. However, throughout basketball history, the most effective methods for doing that have changed dramatically. Statistics, film study, and analytics have provided teams with new ways of seeing the game, resulting in drastic changes. In this series, I will be analyzing the top offensive team in each of the last 7 years, breaking down what systems and players helped them to achieve success, as well as how offense has evolved in order to hopefully answer the question, what makes an offense great in the modern NBA? In 2018, the NBA landscape was in the midst of a major shift. The age of data analytics was well and truly underway, with more and more teams using numbers and statistics to guide their offensive schemes. At the forefront of this movement were the Houston Rockets and General Manager Daryl Morey. Morey received a bachelor's degree in computer science with an emphasis on statistics from Northwestern University in 1996. He was never a player or coach at the professional or collegiate level. Despite this, Morey was hired as general manager of the Houston Rockets in 2006. In 2018, he was named Executive of the Year, as his data-driven approach helped the Rockets to a league-best 65 wins and the NBA's #1 offense. This is a graph of the average shot distribution by distance in the NBA in 2018. This is a graph of the shot distribution of Morey's Rockets. Notice the difference? While rim attempts stayed roughly the same, Morey's Rockets cut the number of mid-range shots from 38.2% to 21%, by far the lowest in the league. They also increased the frequency of three-pointers from 33.7% to 50.2%, by far the highest in the league. The reason for this? Basic mathematics. In 2018, teams on average shot about 40% on their mid-range attempts, giving the shot a value of roughly 0.8 points per shot. However, teams shot 36.2% on their three-point attempts, meaning they were worth 1.09 points per shot, far more efficient. By turning these mid-range shots into three-point attempts, even without necessarily increasing their shooting percentages, Houston would be increasing the overall efficiency of their offense. Morey recognized this. However, he knew that in order to successfully implement this offense, he needed the right personnel.
Shot clock to 5. Harden for 3, yes! Spurs call for time.
In 2012, the Oklahoma City Thunder made the NBA Finals behind their young star duo of Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. However, it was another player on that young squad that caught Morey's attention. While all the attention had gone to Westbrook and Durant, backup shooting guard James Harden had just been named NBA Sixth Man of the Year, and Oklahoma were lowballing him for a contract. Morey saw his opportunity and took it. On October 31st, 2012, Harden signed a contract extension worth 5 years, $80 million with the Houston Rockets. It would be the best decision either side would ever make. Harden was a perfect fit with Houston for a multitude of reasons. First and foremost was his shot distribution. In Oklahoma City, Harden's shot distribution looked like this. His shot diet almost exclusively consisted of layups and three-point attempts. This elite shot distribution made him extremely efficient. He was able to turn a lot of his mid-rangers into three-point attempts through his signature move, the step-back three. Harden could probe defenses by driving towards the rim for a layup and then step back to hit contested threes at a rate never seen before in the NBA. The reliability and repeatability of this shot is what allowed Harden to turn a large majority of his mid-rangers into threes. In addition to this, Harden was also a great fit with Morey's Moneyball style because of his ability to get to the free throw line. On average, in the 2012 season, teams shot 47.7% on their two-pointers and 34.9% on their three-pointers. However, they shot 75.2% at the free throw line, meaning the free throw was the most efficient shot in basketball. Harden posted a free throw rate, free throws attempted per field goal attempt, of 0.587 in 2012. This ranked him 6th in the entire NBA and 1st among guards out of players who had played at least 50 games. Harden's combination of optimal shot distribution and fantastic free throw rate led to him posting an absurd 66% true shooting percentage, points per true shot attempt. This ranked him second in the entire NBA, only behind Knicks center Tyson Chandler, despite being a guard. In 2018, Harden led the league in points per game, three-pointers made per game, and free throws made per game, as he was named league MVP. He was the cornerstone of Morey's extreme offense that dominated the NBA that season. This is a graph to show isolation performance in the NBA by team in 2018. On the x-axis is the frequency of isolation plays measured by percentage of plays run, and on the y-axis is efficiency of isolation plays measured by points per shot. Here are the Rockets on that graph. On the back of James Harden, Houston's isolation became arguably the deadliest weapon in all of basketball. In addition to Harden's foul drawing, layup, and three-point shot diet, Houston made these isolations easier through their spacing. Houston took the highest volume of three-point attempts in 2018. However, this is not exclusively down to James Harden. Eric Gordon, Trevor Ariza, and Chris Paul all ranked in the top 16 for three-pointers made. While Harden would isolate, his teammates would stand at the three-point line, allowing Harden the space to go to work. Since the floor was so spaced, it was very difficult for defenses to double-team or help, as Harden could simply kick it out to an open shooter, and the recovery distance would be too much for the defense. Houston also made a key addition in this offseason, as they signed disgruntled Clippers point guard Chris Paul. Between Harden and Paul, Houston had two elite isolation scorers. Here's a graph of every player who has played at least 50 games and averaged 2 isolation possessions per game. It shows isolation points per game on the x-axis and points per isolation possession on the y-axis. Paul acted as a strong secondary scorer and could assume the role of lead guard effectively when Harden went to the bench, meaning that Houston would always have an elite isolation scorer on the court. With Paul, Houston were arguably the greatest isolation team of all time. However, in order to be truly great, Houston needed more than one weapon in its arsenal.
Nash is guarding Jason Terry. They've gone right to him. He has 5 field goals here already in this game, 12 points.
Sean Marion, the ex-Sun, goes inside. Lopez knocks him down. Alley-oop. Nash inside to Richardson, coming off the wing.
In the mid-2000s, there was a different revolutionary offense taking over the NBA. The 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns. Coach Mike D'Antoni's offense was known for pushing the pace in transition, as the fast break offense is much more efficient than the half-court offense. The goal of the team was to get a shot up in 7 seconds or less to prevent the opponent from being set and ready to defend it. In 2005, the Suns ranked 1st in transition frequency and 5th in transition efficiency, making them the most effective transition team in the NBA. In the half-court, the Suns utilized a heavy diet of pick and roll. Point guard Steve Nash's pull-up jump shot and decision-making as a ball handler paired perfectly with power forward Amari Stoudemire's strength, athleticism, and verticality as a roll man. This pioneering offensive approach resulted in one of the greatest offensive teams of all time, as from 2005 to 2008, D'Antoni's Suns were consistently one of the best offenses in the entire NBA. In 2016, Morey hired D'Antoni to be coach of the Rockets, and while they were not as extreme as the Suns, D'Antoni's influence was certainly felt on their offense. In 2018, the Rockets ranked 13th in the league in transition frequency and 1st in transition efficiency. They were the 2nd most effective transition team in the entire NBA. Under D'Antoni, the Rockets also developed into a strong pick-and-roll team. James Harden often used screens while driving towards the basket before performing his signature Euro step into a left-handed finish. Another important factor was Chris Paul. Like Nash in Phoenix, Paul was both a strong shooter and passer. His specialty was the lob pass, a technique he utilized frequently in Los Angeles as the point guard of the Lob City Clippers. He and Harden combined well with center Clint Capella, an imposing athletic big man who led the league in dunks in the 2018 season, and was nominated for Most Improved Player. The Rockets ranked 9th in the NBA in frequency of pick-and-roll ball handler or rollman shots, while ranking 2nd in efficiency. D'Antoni's specialty in transition and pick-and-roll offense helped make the Rockets a more adaptable, versatile, and dangerous team. The legacy of this Rockets team is a very interesting one. They would famously go up 3-2 on the Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference Finals, but Chris Paul would injure his hamstring late in Game 5. They would go on to lose the series in 7 games, blowing a 15-point halftime lead in Game 7 and missing an NBA record 27 straight threes in the process. The team is often regarded as the greatest team to never win a championship, with Paul and Harden in the discussion for greatest individuals to never claim the title. However, there is no doubt that with the combination of Daryl Morey's revolutionary analytical approach, James Harden's efficient isolation scoring, Chris Paul's secondary ball handling and playmaking, and Mike D'Antoni's transition and pick-and-roll expertise, the Houston Rockets created a perfect storm, resulting in one of the greatest, most revolutionary, and most important offenses in NBA history.
Cutting McGee, right into Green. McGee's got his own miss. Tried to spin, stripped to the ball by Curry. Here comes a great pass to Durant, who tomahawks it home.